There comes a time when all good stories must come to an end, and in the case of the long-running Jak and Daxter franchise, that time is now. The series began innocently enough, full of verdant hills and lighthearted whimsy, but all that kiddie stuff was starkly replaced in Jak II with a grim cityscape and Grand Theft Auto-style freeform gameplay. In the third and final chapter, developer Naughty Dog has adopted the philosophy that says if it ain't broke, don't fix it, by applying the same ideals to Jak III, making it a strong finish to this well-loved series. Jak III picks up right after the end of Jak II and the defeat of Baron Praxis and the loathsome Metalheads. Unfortunately, plenty of new bad guys are on the scene, including Jak's nemesis Errol, who's leading an army of evil robots, and Count Vigor, who wants to rule Haven City for himself. Jak and Daxter soon find themselves exiled to the wastelands outside Haven City, and they're soon rescued by the wise warrior Damus, who helps them plan their comeback. Over the course of the fast-paced and often hilarious story, you'll run into just about every character from Jak II, including Samos, Kira, Ashlyn, and even Pecker, as well as plenty of new friends and enemies. Like in the last game, Jak III uses a free-roaming city hub. You'll spend a good amount of time in both Haven City and the Outlanders' desert stronghold, and you'll often have to explore the wastelands in between. These cities help to bind the levels together, but it's within the missions themselves that the real action takes place. It's also here that fans of the series will feel right at home. Jak's got all of his old moves like the dash punch, the spin, the double jump, and the butt stomp, as well as a bevy of weapons from shotguns and miniguns to the heavy-duty Peacemaker, each of which have 2 useful upgrades. Jak can once again transform into Dark Jak, boosting your melee capabilities for a short time. Later on, he'll also become Light Jak, who has defensive capabilities like healing and a limited flight power. With all these abilities, as well as the trusty hoverboard, the sheer number of actions you can perform may seem a bit daunting at first, but at least all of your abilities are introduced at an even pace throughout the game. There's just a ton of stuff to do in the game. In addition to the platforming, there's driving, hoverboarding, hang gliding, rail shooting, and even some excellent mini-games resembling classics like Tempest and Pac-Man thrown in for good measure. For all its variety, each and every facet of Jak III delivers an excellent experience. It's worth mentioning that Jak III is awfully challenging. The game may take you back to the good old days of thrown controllers and muttered curses, but it never feels cheap or unfair. You'll rarely finish a mission on your first pass, but it won't take you long to pick up on the enemy's patterns. The game has a few minor shortcomings, primarily its noticeable similarity to Jak II, right down to a few recycled sounds and animations. While these aren't necessarily bad, it does make the game feel a little like Jak 2.5 at times. It's also not terribly long. The central story will keep you busy for roughly 12 to 14 hours. But you can tack on a few more hours by playing side missions that will eventually let you unlock a bunch of secrets. These include a level select, a model gallery, art viewer, and even DVD-style commentary from the animators for each cutscene. Jak III's production values are nothing short of top-notch. The engine makes excellent use of the PlayStation 2 hardware, and the game looks fantastic as a result, even though the graphics are not a phenomenal step up from what you saw in Jak II. Moreover, the animators have outdone themselves yet again with highly emotive characters that are brought to life by expressive movements both in and out of cutscenes. The only thing that might surpass the quality of the animation is the voice acting, which delivers some memorable and occasionally laugh-out-loud moments. It's a little bittersweet to see such a strong franchise come to an end, but thanks to games like Jak III, this series will be remembered for its rewarding and varied gameplay, trademark humor, and a solid and engrossing storyline that comes to a satisfying end. Picking up this game is a no-brainer if you're a big fan of the Jak series, but if you're just looking for a solid action title with a lot of variety, Jak III should be on your list as well.